Abilities. Every brawler has them, and every brawler has unique ones, specifically crafted to fit their playstyle. But there are quite a few of those abilities that are completely useless, and you might even be better off not using them at all. Most of these don't really help you. Keep in mind, these abilities aren't sorted in any particular order. I didn't rank or rate them on how bad they are. This is just a video to show all the useless abilities in the game. Anyways, let's start with the first ability, Shelly's Fast Forward gadget. This gadget lets Shelly dash a couple of tiles in a certain direction, and it works like Mac's dash and Maisy's dash without any added benefits. It doesn't give Shelly an advantage like invincibility or extra damage, and it gets severely outclassed by her other gadget, Clay Pigeons. This is also the case for a lot of other brawlers, where one ability is vastly superior to another, like Chester's Sneak Peek Star Power. Being able to see which super you get next, instead of getting an additional attack which deals 4,000 damage, makes this star power completely useless. I feel like this should already be a part of the main build, because it doesn't really have any advantages, and it makes Chester maybe a little bit less RNG based, since you can position yourself in such a way that the super you get will be more useful. Positioning yourself is also very important for our next ability, and it's RT's inline gadget. I mean, seriously, I have never seen anyone get any value out of this gadget. It's almost impossible to hit someone with it, and comparing this to his other gadget, it's absolute garbage. This also goes for his recording star power, which gives him and his legs a shield when using his super. Most of the time you don't even want to use his super, because you're so vulnerable. And RT is best played on open, long-range maps, so this star power doesn't really pair well with him. Another ability that doesn't pair well with the brawler is Pearl's hypercharge. Like, where is the synergy? Her super pushes enemies back and leaves a burning area behind. Anyone who has eyes can see that they shouldn't be walking inside of that area. This hypercharge is just really weird. I mean, it's not useless, but the extra ability it has definitely is. Mico's hypercharge has a problem as well. If you use his super whilst being hypercharged, you stun your enemies when you come out. That's pretty cool. But if you activate your super right as you activate your hypercharge, you basically waste it. In the air, you cannot attack, so all the added stat buffs are gone when you land your super. So, to get the most out of this hypercharge, use your super as late as possible. Staying on the topic of Mico, his record smash star power doesn't offer a lot either. Double damage when hitting anything that isn't a brawler sounds nice on the surface, but if you take a look at his other star power, which makes him win almost any 1v1, the choice is clear. You pick that star power. Record Smash is only viable in Heist. But be honest, who plays Mico in Heist? And Showdown, where this star power really helps opening boxes. In any other mode, it's pretty much useless, and this brings us to Kit's power-hungry star power. This is an ability that only works in one mode, which is Showdown. Using this in any other mode will be completely useless. The star power has absolutely zero versatility. I also think this is the case for Griff's Coin Shower gadget. Shooting 33% extra coins for one attack is awful. Maybe if it lasted for like 5 seconds it would have been a pretty good gadget, but only one attack? Nah, I'm good. His piggy bank gadget is just so much more useful, breaking open walls, and maybe even dealing some damage along the way. Griff's first star power, Keep the Change, is also quite useless, offering a 25% reduction of his unload speed, but business resilience is just so much better. Having a faster unload speed might help you win some close-range interactions, but passive healing definitely outshines this star power. As we've seen, there are some abilities that are just worse than their counterparts. But what if an ability actually has a drawback of using it? That brings us to Ash's Rotten Banana gadget. It makes Ash lose 25% of his health to gain 40% rage. Losing 25% HP means that at full health, you lose 2,800 HP. This of course is really bad because every hit point counts. Gus also has an ability like this. Soul Switcher will make Gus lose 5% HP to fully fill up his spirit bar, making him spawn a ghost with his next attack. I know, 5% is a lot less than 25%, but the only thing that makes Gus good is his other gadget. Exploding ghosts on the map and possibly finishing off an enemy offers so much more benefit than losing HP and spawning another ghost. I quickly wanted to give an honorable mention to Jackie's rebuild gadget. Yes, it's useless, but the cheese you can pull off with it is amazing. At the start of this video, we talked about Shelly's dash, and Bonnie has a dash as well. It's of course Bonnie's crash test gadget, which makes her dash, just like Shelly. This gadget, on the other hand, does have extra power to it, dealing damage and knocking back enemies. I would argue it's actually pretty good, but her other gadget is just a lot more useful since her cannon form is usually her best form. She also has a star power which is complete doo-doo, Wisdom Tooth. Seriously, when I got this from a legendary drop, I was not happy to say the least. Her main attack shatters into small projectiles. Do they deal a lot of damage? No. Are they easy to hit? No. Have I ever seen anyone getting any use out of this star power? No. It is so bad. Fun fact, I also got Doug's fast food star power from a legendary drop. It makes anyone who was resurrected by the almighty hot dog a bit faster for 3 seconds. It might be good if you're an assassin or something, but his other star power is just a lot more useful in most situations. I do like the pun they made when coming up with a name for his star power. Unfortunately, the game isn't about puns. Otherwise, Jessie's shocky star power would have been among the best ones in the game. It's actually the complete opposite because this star power gets a well-deserved place on this list. Scrappy, Jessie's turret has an ocular disability. It seems as if it cannot hit a single shot.
What are you aiming at? What are you aiming at?
So what does it matter if its energy orbs bounce onto someone else, if it can't even hit someone in the first place? Yeah, it's quite shocking how bad it is. Sorry. Let's do a little quiz. We all know this gadget, right? It belongs to Pearl and leaves some burn damage after getting hit by one of her cookies. But what does her second gadget do? Is it A, Cookie Barrage? Pearl launches an intensified barrage of cookies containing 50% more projectiles. Is it B, Sugar Burst? Upon activation, Pearl releases a burst of sweet energy that instantly restores a small amount of health to herself and nearby allies. Or is it C, Made with Love? Pearl's next basic attack shoots perfectly baked cookies, healing allies 25% of the damage over time instead. If you picked C, you are right. To be honest, I completely forgot this gadget even existed, and I asked a few friends and they didn't remember it either. So yeah, what this does is it heals your allies. Does it heal a lot? No, not at all. 2k healing at most, and that is if you are at full heat and hit every shot, which is quite unlikely if your teammates are moving around a lot. Eve also has a healing gadget, which not a lot of people use. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it has some downsides to it, which make it not the best option. For starters, you have to preemptively decide whether you want to use your next super to heal your team, or if you want to use it to push enemies back. Furthermore, it takes really long to actually receive the healing, and you want healing to happen instantly, not over time. Another thing that happens over time is Ruffs' Field Promotion Star Power. If you stand near Ruffs, he will increase your max health by 30 every second. This might seem good on the surface, but this is far from the truth. When the power level scaling happened, and a lot of star powers and gadgets got rebalanced, nothing happened to Ruffs' star power, which means that 30 now, in percentage terms, is much less than before. It also doesn't help that when you die, you lose all your extra HP, and it will probably never be very viable competitively. Another star power I find kinda useless is Frank's Sponge star power. It just adds a little bit of HP to Frank, and with him already being the tankiest brawler in the game, I never really see how this will benefit him. He might be able to survive an extra shot, but he's just a big punching bag nevertheless. Frank will die no matter what, unfortunately. Usually a brawler just becomes worse if you switch a star power or a gadget, but there are some brawlers who simply cannot function without a certain build, and I wanted to cover these brawlers as well. Let's start off with Sam, because he probably has the worst star power in the game, Remote Recharge. This star power causes Sam's super to have a little supercharge area around it when it's thrown, just like Buzz and Cordelius's supercharge area. There are a few problems with this star power. The range is minuscule. It charges so painfully slow. people have to actually get near the knucklebusters laying on the ground. And Sam is already a pretty bad brawler, even with his hearty recovery star power, which he really needs to be able to do at least something. Luckily for Sam, he also has one of the worst gadgets in the game, Pulse Repellent. This knocks enemies back when they get hit by his super. The only time I would see this being useful is in Brawl Ball if you want to score, but it's really hard to make use out of it since the knockback happens at the end of your super range. In any other case, it's completely useless. Otis has the same problem as Sam because he can only function properly with one build. I normally don't do this, but if you're enjoying the video thus far, make sure to subscribe. Only 0.8% of you is actually subscribed, which is kinda sad. Back to Otis. First of all, his star power stencil glue. This makes it so that Syl, his C-star, will be latched onto the enemy for 5 seconds instead of 3, which isn't too bad. The problem is that Otis needs ink refills to be able to do anything, and most of the time, a 3-second mute is enough to kill someone, so 5 seconds would be a little bit overkill. He also has one of the most garbage gadgets in the game, Dormant Star. You can make a little trap with it by placing his supers on the ground. You'll just have to wait until someone walks over it. It's like a bear trap. The difference between these two is that you can't escape from a bear trap. Belle has this issue as well with her grounded star power. Not being able to reload for 3 seconds seems great, until you realize people can just fall back, and your star power has become absolutely useless. This star power also gets greatly outclassed by her other star power, Positive Feedback, which gives a shield. You know what also gives a shield? Mandy's Hard Candy star power. She gains a 30% shield when she's locked in. All cool and all, but there is no way you're gonna hit your shots without the other star power. Like seriously, I have her power 1, and it's absolute agony trying to hit someone with these slow projectiles. Speaking of slow, Sandy and her sleep stimulator gadget. It's so slow that you have to wait 4 years to it finally taking effect, and on top of that, you can't move. Charlie, when she uses her gadget, is protected at least. Sandy will just get blasted by anyone, and since you use it to heal up, chances are that you're already on low HP. This gadget is completely useless, so don't you dare buy it. There are still 12 abilities left, and we'll continue the list with Poco's Protective Tunes gadget. This gadget is bad, really bad. The idea behind it is great, but it's just too situational. It might be good if you face off against a Byron, Crow, and Willow, but who would even use such a monstrosity of a comp? How do I transition this well? You know what brawler is a monstrosity as well? Tick. And he has 2 abilities that are garbage, starting off with his Mine Mania gadget. Cool, it spawns 3 extra mines. Yeah, you can wait until the mines explode, but you won't do that, right? Great. Yup, it's bad. It offers extra area control. Wait, no, the regular attack already does that. It deals double the damage. Oh wait, Tick isn't meant to deal damage. You get the point. It's bad, just like his automatic reload star power. This star power is a gear, but worse. The regular epic gear offers a 10% reload speed increase, and Tick's star power a 9% increase. Man, this is awful. Poor Tick. Imagine having a nerfed gear as a star power. Oh, by the way, there are also 2 gears that are trash. Do not buy these, alright? There are only a few abilities left, and to all you Hank fans out there, you have to admit, his Take Cover star power is abysmal. You have to be close to a wall for it to activate? How close do you have to be, you might be wondering? Well, you have to practically be inside of the wall for the star power to take effect. It makes it very impractical to use, and his other star power is just a bit better. Although walls are useful for Hank, standing inside of them isn't. Dynamike also gets a lot of benefit from walls, and coincidentally, he also has a terrible ability. It's of course his fidget spinner gadget. Spinning around, bombarding people with dynamite, seems pretty good. Yeah, it would be nice if it could actually hit someone. No! The chances of you hitting more than one dynamite are so astronomically small. Even Bonnie's wisdom tooth provides more value. On top of all of this, it doesn't even charge your super, and his stun gadget is arguably the best one in the game. So I think we can all agree that Fidget Spinner can be thrown in the trash. Also, another honorable mention to Gray's Grand Piano gadget. Although it isn't as grand anymore, it still offers some nice wall break opportunities. Let's move on to Carl, and he has 2 abilities as well. His star power, Power Throw, which makes his pickaxe return 10% faster, is pretty much useless. This never really changes any games around, unlike his other star power, which gives him a 35% shield when using his super. His gadget called Heat Ejector is also inferior to its counterpart. Most of the time, this gadget doesn't even hit, and it's only useful to finish off your opponents. His Flying Hook offers a lot more versatility combining it with his super, which offers a lot of speed. Speed. Hold on a minute, that's... No, I mean Max, of course. Remember her Sneaky Sneakers gadget? Me neither. And that's probably because this might be one of the most useless abilities ever to be added to the game. I don't even understand how it works. It's too complicated. Bad, unsatisfactory, not good, terrible, inadequate, substandard, inferior, not up to second rate. Another case of good idea, bad execution. The next ability didn't even get to the good idea part, and that's Grom's Foot Patrol star power. Like, who came up with these? In what world would this star power offer any sort of benefit? Extra movement speed, pretty cool. If you are an assassin and need to get up close and personal with people, what advantage does extra speed offer to a thrower? You tell me, because I have no clue. The opposite of speed is slow, and that is what Maisy's Tremors star power offers. It's what makes her the strong brawler she is, and her other star power? It doesn't really offer the same amount of usefulness. Her attack will deal 20% extra damage at max range. Although I wouldn't say this star power is completely useless, you're much better off using her other star power, which makes this one still useless. And then finally, the last ability, and that's Janet's Stage View. Every bull and Shelly hiding in a bush will be revealed upon using her super, which is nice? I don't know. Her other star power is just a lot better, and this only has benefits on bushy maps like Snake Prairie. Well then, those were a ton of abilities, and I really hope you will not use these in a match, unless of course I'm playing against you. In that case, buy all of these abilities because they are definitely the best. Anyways, that was it for today. Huge thanks to you for being a member. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to sub, and I'll see you in the next one.